What is going on, everyone? Tim from Tierfon Orbital. It is good to be back. It is good to see all of you. It's good to be back with another lightsaber demo video, right? So today's demo video is going to be for a Courkrus. This is the Courkrus from Jawas Junkyard. It was designed by my good buddy Benji from Nerfherder Customs. Now, this is based on Corran Horn's speeder bike lightsaber. Now, the book I Jedi, if you haven't read it, it's actually a really, really good book. But we only get one very, very subtle look at Corran's lightsaber on the cover of this book. It's essentially just a silhouette, right? So my good friend Benji went about designing a lightsaber according to what he thought that hilt would look like. This is his representation of that very, very subtle image that we get on the cover of the book. And I think it is a great, great design, right? We've got an external kill switch. We've got lit arrows that also serve as functional buttons. This hilt is a beast. So the customer for this order wanted a hybrid chassis designed for this hilt. Now there is a good amount of room in the grip, right? But to get a crystal chamber in there, it was a little bit tight. So we are going to come into Fusion, talk a little bit about the chassis, talk about the install, and then we will come up top, do a quick demo, and then we will be on our way, okay? So with all of that out of the way, let's jump into Fusion and take a look at this chassis. Okay, so here is the chassis that I designed for the Courkrus from Jawas Junkyard and Nerfherder Customs, right? So there is a decent amount of room in the hilt, all right? We've got 28 millimeters all the way down through the grip, but the customer for this wanted a crystal chamber. There's no way that you can do a fully removable chassis because you have to wire up your kill switch. There is an external kill switch on the outside of this hilt, right? So there's no way to do like a full removable chassis. So I went about just doing a build with a full 18650 battery. That was one of the other requests for this build. Full 18650 battery and a very, very short crystal chamber. Now this actually happens to be a marble chamber. On the inside of this, we've got a hand-blown glass marble that is from Noah Drew. We'll get a closer look at that when we do the up top. But yeah, just a short crystal chamber, relatively simple. I mean, there was not a lot of room to work with as far as like adding probes and tubes and everything. So I kept it very symmetrical, very simple for that crystal chamber. We do have a brass accent here that goes around the board. This is a Profi board build. So the Profi board will slide up underneath this lip and pull forward into these two forks. Okay, so this is where the soundboard lives. Around the other side, we also have a battery cover. Well, just this battery cover, actually. Just the battery cover is held in place with some rectangular neodymium magnets. Okay, let me see if I can pull this board up really quick just to get a better look. So there's that battery cover. It's held in place with some very strong neodymium magnets. 18650 battery in here. We do have a 28 millimeter bass speaker at the bottom. Okay, and that is it. All of my wires come up through these two conduits at the back of the crystal chamber, and they will feed the switches. Now, the switches for this install are from Shadowfoil Props. They are NeoPixel switch PCBs. So it's essentially a PCB with an onboard switch as well as a NeoPixel. And that is what lights those two arrows on the outside of the hilt. And then around the side, I've got a window for my kill switch wires, right? Lit blade PCB emitter up top from KR Sabers. And that is it. Let's come up top. All right, so here it is. This is the Courkrus from Jawas Junkyard. Now, I have the grip off of this already. It is a little bit of a tight grip once you get past this speaker, okay? But let's talk a little bit about the chassis first. The chassis was given a pewter and black rub and buff treatment at the request of the customer, all right? All of the brass pieces have been weathered. Okay, so here is our battery cover. There's already a battery in this. Now, I don't know if this is going to come out on camera, but there is that glass marble in this crystal chamber up top. Very, very cool stuff that Noah Drew does for these marbles. Really, really unique. I like putting those in a build when the space allows, right? Profi board is here, and then our battery, obviously, and our 28 millimeter speaker. All right. So battery is already in here, but this will take a protected 18650 button top battery. So go ahead and put your battery in the battery tray. All right. So there's that marble lit. Hopefully that'll come out on camera. Very, very cool looking marble. All right. And then we've got our lit arrows here that also serve as your buttons. Okay. All right. Now, once you've got your battery in, you can slide your grip on. Now, this is a very, very tight grip, as I mentioned. I also want to mention, right, so in order to get this battery cover piece designed correctly, as well as this brass greebly, the walls of this chassis are very, very thin. Given that this is a full steel grip, it is heavy. So I would just suggest being mindful of when you're putting your grip on. You don't really want to break anything. I like to put the grip on with the hilt vertical. All right. Go ahead and thread your grip all the way on. Okay. And then you're good to go. One of the things I really love about this design is that Benji incorporated an external kill switch. Anytime I see an external kill switch.
I might be one of the last of my kind.
Okay. So hit your kill switch, you're good to go. All right. Now, another thing that was requested for this build was some heat staining as well as some light battle scarring. So I do have some scarring that I put on the emitter with a grinder, actually. This is a full steel hilt. I also took my clines to the top of this, actually. I like using my clines. Let me pull them out real quick. I like using my clines when doing battle scarring. It just looks a little bit more unique than just like a hammer because of this irregular shape of the tip of the clines, right? So I took that and beat the emitter a little bit. There are some gouges and scratches as well. And then everything has been heat stained, right? So the pommel is heat stained and the emitter has been heat stained as well. All right. And this guy is really, really heavy. Super, super heavy. Listen, you don't want to drop this on your toes. You'd have a bad day. So that's it. Let's come down to the bottom. So there are those lit arrows in the hilt. I love that feature of this hilt, as well as that kill switch is really, really good. Right. Great sounding hilt as always. Every Courkrus that I've done has always sounded great. But it is heavy. It's a heavy hilt. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and put a blade in it really quick. All right, so this will take a 1-inch blade. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and rest my blade on those PCB pins. There is a set screw around the side here that will serve as your blade retention. So I'm going to tighten that just so it's hugging the blade, and you are ready to go. Yeah, great sounding hilt as always. Those lit arrows are always awesome to see. Yeah. So this red button, the red arrow will serve as your aux. Green is your main. Let's go through a couple fonts here.
At last we will have our revenge.
One more. That is a wild blade style. I don't like that. I feel like I'm going to have a seizure. All right. I'm going to have to change that before that goes out. Some interesting blade styles on here. Not quite sure where these came from. All right. Let's do one more.
That lightsaber was Luke's.
There we go. A little bit more regular. Great sounding hilt, great feeling hilt. It is a hefty, hefty hilt, right? But that is the Courkrus from Jawas Junkyard and my dude Benji from Nerfherder Customs, right? So to you, the customer, I know this was a long project. You had another hybrid chassis design with me. So thank you very much for your patience and support. If anyone has any questions about this particular chassis or anything really, please do not be a stranger. And with that being said, may the force be with you always. Have a good one, everybody.